Hello, this is Wolfgang of Mevas. Today I want to explain you what we do when we inspect an excavator for you. When we send an inspector to check a machine, he has an inspection sheet and he starts the inspection. So first thing is checking the serial number. Checking, does the machine have a CE sign. We check the whole configuration. Does the machine have check valves? Does the machine have a quick coupler? Does it have auxiliary lines? We measure the length of the stick, which dimension it is. We check what kind of undercarriage it is. So the inspector takes all this information to his inspection sheet. Then he's checking the hour meter reading. And he takes a note. Next step is visual inspection of the cab interior. Is the seat okay? Does the wipers work? Are the windows okay? The mirrors? Do we have any damage to the cab? Meanwhile, the inspector would start the engine to warm it up. Then he climbs up to the machine top. He takes more information about the configuration. This one has an automatic lubrication system. Next thing is, of course, the engine would be run. He checks the engine for leaks. The inspector would check the condition of the oil, the condition of the coolant. He would have a look if the engine has blow-by. He would check if there is water in the cooling in the oil, condensate, and of course the cooling system is be checked. If there is pressure, if there is fuel in, or oil. Before the inspector steps down, he would check if the swing gear has clean oil. He would check if the swivel has leakage and if the valve block is leaking. Last view to the top of the cab, and then visual inspection of boom and stick. While stepping down, the inspector checks if any of the cylinders is leaking. And of course, between all this, he takes the information to his inspection sheet. So then we do the inspection of the exterior. Covers, compartments, bumpers, lights, boomstick, and so on. Then our inspector would check if there are any leaks. Is there any leak from the engine? Is there a leak from the swivel underneath the machine? He checks if the chassis has any damage, and of course all this with a running machine. He has a look to the coolers. If the coolers are okay, he is looking to the batteries. If the batteries are good, the cooler for the air condition. He checks the air filter, and the condition of the cab is approved. Are there any damage to the cabin? Any hits? Did the machine fall over? Checking the compartments and checking the pump compartment if there are any leaks or problems. Here the inspector can see the condition of the oil, if it is dark or contaminated. He can see the condition of filters, if the machine was maintained regularly. Then he is also checking the exterior, if there are dents, damages to the chassis, and so on. So last but not least, or no, let's say the next step is checking the condition of the undercarriage. How good are the sprockets? How good are the truck links? Is there any leaking roller? Is the roller missing or damaged? What is the condition of the bushings? What's the condition of the idler? Are the truck shoes okay, or do they have damage, like here? So this is of course done on both sides. Here it is visible that the truck tension is too low. And as I say, the inspector takes all the information to his inspection sheet. Then the bucket is checked. What is the dimension? What is the condition? Same for the quick coupler, if there is one. What is the condition? Checking again the boom and the stick. When all this has been done, the inspector makes a functional test. He starts playing with the excavator, looking for play in the cylinder pins, in the main pin of the boom, in the top cylinder pins. He's playing with the stick to see if there is play in the stick pin. Of course, he has before inspected the condition of the stick cylinder. He is looking if there is play in the connection of the coupler, if there is play in the bucket pins. Then checking the bucket cylinder. Are there any damaged hoses or lines? Is there any weld repair done to the stick or to the boom? So he takes all the dimensions for the bucket. He is giving evaluation of the remaining life of the undercarriage components. He takes a note what size of shoes do we have, and he takes notes for all the problems he found. At the end of the inspection, the inspector takes a measurement of the transport dimension of the machine as inspected. Of course, for all this he is doing a lot of pictures to show the buyer if there is a risk buying the machine, or if the machine is good value for the money. The inspection ends with a picture of the serial number plate. So that's what I've shown you here in 9 minutes. Is a process that usually takes 1 hour. So if you want to get a machine inspected, please get in touch with us. We are the leading inspection company in Germany and in Europe.